do a recap, and first we'll do a 5 minute for God, and then we'll do a recap of what we talked about last time, and we'll take it from there. All right. So let's give God 5 minutes, and then after that, we'll do a recap on the shirt. Okay. All right. Let's thank God for everything. He's done for us, sustaining our lives, and the provisions that He gives for us. Okay? That's that. So let's begin. Now, we're going to, like I said, make a fire shirt. And we want to get at least somewhere here. See? That's a template that we used freehand. We just drew our own template and we created a fire. And then we zigzag stitched it on our pattern of the shirt that we desired. And then that's the result we're going to get. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side and in the back. Okay? That's what you're going to do if you're trying to create a fire shirt. So, quick recap. Like I said, you will need to know how to make a fire template. You could either make it yourself or you could buy one that's already made at the store. Okay. So, again, what you're going to need is to know how to make your desired flame, right? It doesn't have to be like mine, but whatever you think looks like fire, okay? That's what you're going to do. And that's my fire. Okay? Assuming we cut this from a piece of paper, then that becomes a template. If the piece of paper went like this, see? Okay? So we're going to draw the template on a piece of paper. This is going to be our template, our fire template. Okay? You draw it first, then you cut it off. And all you're going to do is trace it on your pattern. Just like that. So, like I said, yeah, we'll cut it. If this is our template, say this is template. Okay, that's our fire template. We just we'll cut it at that line on a piece of paper. Right? So let's say, yeah, we're gonna cut it, right? Yep, we'll cut that piece off, and that then creates our fire template. Okay, once we have our fire template, then we can trace it on our pattern of our desired size of the shirt that we make. Okay, like that. Now within a template, there will be some flames that run off. So you cut extras, some other extra flames. See that? That'll add volume to your flame. Oh, I got everything all gone. And when we trace and cut a template on the fabric, basically that's the shape we're gonna get shape that we drew at first. And this is the shape that I'm going to use as a template. Okay. On the other side, it might be different. On the back, it might also be different, depending on which template, how I drew it. Now, assuming you don't have a pattern for a shirt, all right, you might not have a pattern for a shirt. You can use your old shirt, just take it apart, and then uh, each side. Obviously, when you take a shirt apart, it'll have sides, right? So you just have to use a seam ripper to take it apart. And then that'll be side A and side B. Okay. Let's say a pocket goes there. That's that. And all back. I'm gonna put the back in a different color, that way it doesn't look confusing. Okay, so that would be our back right there. Okay, and then back side. Okay, and then, like I said, the template that we cut, we're going to place it on our shirt pattern. Okay. So we'll just trace it along. Place it down there. Pin it, right? And then just, you're gonna stitch along your fire template. Okay. So say that's a fire. Yeah, so you're just gonna run a stitch, preferably zigzag, right? Let's say a zigzag stitch. We'll run a zigzag stitch. The hole's very nice. That's the zigzag stitch, right? Zigzag stitch. Okay. When you run that zigzag stitch, it holds pretty nice. And like I said, you will have runoffs, and the runoffs you can just place them anywhere to create more volume. Zigzag that, zigzag again. Huh? Same thing on this side. That's our fire, right? And then we're gonna run a zigzag. Okay. So you're trying to get something that look like that. Hmm? So you can be on fire. All right? Template, place it on your pattern, zigzag stitch it, and you get your desired fire. Okay. All right. And that's that. So you're gonna have your shirt pattern together with your template, right? Obviously, there's two colors there. That means there's two templates. There's a yellow template, then there's a red template. Okay, they're just overlapping each other. So two fire templates, red plus yellow. Okay, and then like I said, zigzag stitch them on your pattern. Let's move on. Now with a template, basically templates are drawings of shapes or letters that you can cut off and then trace them on your patterns and to create shapes and sizes um, of the images that you desire. Okay, so that's that. And when we come back for the reveal, obviously we'll have everything all put together. So we'll see how our fire turns out. Okay. All right. And that's that for today's class, guys. We're not gonna waste too much time on that. We'll take it from there when we come to the reveal. Okay. Quick recap again. Like I said, you're gonna need a template. That's a fire. Over here, I got two, red and yellow. Okay. And cut them together. Whatever you want to do, freehand or buy one, and then just stitch them to your pattern. And that's that. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys later. Adios.